Welcome back to Dylan with Sid Meier's Colonization, where we're continuing the colonization of the Americas as the French. That'll increase our cross production and get us more immigrants. We've got a big old load of silver and tobacco to head off to Europe. Alright, the lumberjack and the expert carpenter have arrived. So we need to swap out the ore miner, and we need to swap in the lumberjack, as well as the carpenter, so that we can finally finish the docks and we can get some people working on something actually useful once we have food from the ocean. We've got a bunch of colonists ready to do their thing, 3 of them total. I do need to start working on tools in Ironhold to start plowing. I do need tools to remove the forest to turn them into swamp here, so I can get ore. In the meantime though, we do have some ore on hand in Silverton that we can move over to Ironhold. Really don't like the English just hanging around Safe Harbor. They're literally blocking me, but the natives aren't dealing with them. They're just thinking about attacking, but they're not doing it. We are probably going to have to get aggressive with the English. That's something that I could do with my gold in Europe. But they've got defensive positions, which makes it harder, and muskets are getting very expensive. I'm going to go ahead and save up for another elder statesman. I know it's expensive, but playing on Viceroy, I feel like you really need that revolutionary support and those Liberty Bells. So we'll go ahead and we'll send the caravel home, and then we'll wait for a little while longer. Ooh, I found a Dutch dragoon scouting the area. I think after the schoolhouse we need to build a stockade in Safe Harbor. That might encourage the English to get the hell out of my land. Hey, we met the Tupi. They are south of the Aztecs. And the soldier of the English is going south now. Yep, there goes the silver deposit in Silverton, unfortunately. So I think we're gonna pull the silver miner out, but I'll think about it. He is producing some furs. Got the schoolhouse built. Let's build a stockade. That'll take 6 turns, roughly. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the wagon train out, and once that's done, I'm gonna pull out the silver miner, clear his specialty, and then train him up to be a ore miner instead at one of the Iroquois villages nearby. Maybe now that the English soldier has explored the southern tip of our land, they will kindly leave. Nothing but rumors. Wonderful. The random number generator has been terrible to me. Yep, time for you to leave, Mr. Silver Miner. You did a good job. Well, could we send you somewhere else? Silver's dropping very rapidly in price though. Yeah, let's pull you out. And we'll abandon the colony. Yes, we will. Great. There's a bunch of Dutch dragoons over here. Hello. They should want to make peace. Their stadholders told us that we must drive all French from the shores of New Netherlands. So they might temporarily overlook this directive in exchange. They want to... Oh my god. No. Piss off. Frankly, piss off. War. Alright, cool, whatever, bro. That is why I have soldiers. Maybe the English came to declare war on us, but they glitched out. That could be what happened. Let's pick up another... elder statesman. Yeah, muskets are so expensive that we really need to start producing them ourselves if we need them. What else we need to do is we need to expand more. Yeah, silver's down to 7. It's basically useless to mine that now. It's really not worth it. Like, it's kind of worth it if we had easy access to the silver, but now it's not. Some master gunsmiths might be what's up, but you turn tools into guns, and we need tools for other things like buildings. So I think we're gonna hold off on the gunsmiths. Instead, let's pick up some... Well, hold on. Hey, Proxima actually made it to 51% revolutionary support. Very nice, very nice. Once our colonies get bigger though, that support does drop. It drops every time you move colonists, and then it drops anytime you add colonists. Because I think it's like 200 Liberty Bells per colonist, something like that, to turn them into a revolutionary. But in the meantime, we are getting an extra +1 to every good that we produce, and experts produce a extra 1 since they produce double, I believe. So now the carpenter's making 14 instead of 12 hammers per turn. And man, look at that statesman making 19 Liberty Bells. I love to see it. If we get Benjamin Franklin as a founding father, then we can make peace with the Dutch, and just in case the English attack, we can also make peace with them. So I think with the destruction of Silverton, we're going to settle a colony 1 south, right here, with access to the timber and then the rivers. Alternatively, we could settle 1 northwest, like right here. We'll be right against the Iroquois, but we'd have access to the mountain and this mountain for ore. Some food from the ocean. We could get some timber from the surrounding forest, then we could cut down some forests and get some food as well. And then we could make another tool slash gun producing city. Probably a gun producing city. Because if I settle this location, none of the surrounding tiles are rainforest or wetland forest, which means that my ore production is going to be non-existent in this city. So I'd have to settle right there. I think I kind of have to do that actually. So I could settle here. I could also settle a colony here to make use of the timber and the surrounding lands so that these tiles don't go to waste. We'd also have access to some water or some food eventually. There is also the distinct possibility that eventually we might take out this Indian settlement, but we might not. The oasis doesn't produce that much extra food. It produces a decent amount, but not like a whole bunch. So our next settle is going to be the gun producing city, and then we're going to settle the colony right there. So in consideration of that, it might be a good idea to actually get the gunsmiths, since that's what I'm planning on doing next. So let's grab the gunsmiths, and we'll take y'all to the new world. We are going to need some master blacksmiths to transform those ores into tools though as well. I'm really just kind of planning ahead. Part of the issue with this game is that it doesn't tell you exactly how many furs or goods that you have on your ships. So I'm trying to make it so that I only take one full load of fur, but I can't dump all this fur out, otherwise some of it will immediately go to waste. So here I am like doing this. I could do like a binary search kind of thing, where I dump more furs at once. So like let's say that we take out 20, for instance, like so. So that was more than I needed. So then I come in, I add 10, let's see how many that is. That's not enough. So let's try adding, say, 5. That was too much. Like, it doesn't tell me. This game's old. It's got some issues. 3 was too much. 2 is perfect. Good deal. Alright. And we'll take the coats as well. I'm gonna go grab some food from Proxima. Once we have 200 food in Safe Harbor, we'll actually get a free colonist. It's a very slow growth method, but it does work. The friggin' docks and iron hold still aren't built. They'll be built next turn, thankfully. We'll bring the silver miner south, clear his specialty, and then figure out what to do with him later. We're probably gonna use him to found the gunsmithing city. There's a good chance we'll have to buy some land from the natives, though. Yeah, silver's down to 6 gold. It's useless to mine now. Oh, borderline useless. It's 1575. We got some free colonists, I'll take them. And we are up to 8% tax rate. Ouch. Yeah, he's being a bit of a dick now. Partially because we have more revolutionary support. Let's head off to La Rochelle. It's actually the next turn. We almost got the docks finished. Clear the specialty of the silver miner. Absolutely, we no longer need them. I hate that dragoon is just standing there, staring at safe harbor. I think the English might be about to shake us down for some money. Let's see. I think they kept trying to do it, but nothing happened. Weird. Hey, got another church built. Might want to consider working on a stockade. Yeah, let's build a stockade just in case. I think that we're done exploring, most likely because the Dutch are down here, and they've got this area pretty well locked down with their dragoons. We might be able to get some more exploration done over here, though. We'll try that out. I want to get as much as I can. I've heard the music as if the English were talking to us twice now, but they haven't talked to us, so it's possible that the game is just having some kind of glitch, or they want to ask us for gold, but they can't seem to do it, or they're trying to declare war, but they can't seem to do it. So I guess we're kind of lucky that the game's breaking. I'm gonna quickly swap this criminal and the expert lumberjack in Ironhold, because we'll actually produce more lumber doing that overall, I think. But that does actually impact... Oh, no, why? Wrong one. Oh, I can't actually instantly move them right. So I'll just do that, and we'll make more lumber overall. Ooh, there's a treasure there. What's behind you, though? I think that means that there's something behind this treasure. It might be a dragoon. We might get attacked here in a second. We've got the statesman and the gunsmith that we're going to take over to Ironhold temporarily. Statesman was set up in Ironhold, and the gunsmith, well, we'll just have to wait most likely for a little while. Nope, they moved away, but there was a dragoon behind that treasure. Yeah, the Iroquois are beginning to be concerned that we're overusing the lands near their settlements, which is unfortunate. Getting Pocahontas might be something that we'll need. Pocahontas removes all Indian tension and then halves the alarm rate that you get after that. And we finally got the docks ready, so we'll start fishing the ocean, and oh my god, Why is that so little compared to this one? Alright, we are at +6, so we can sustain a few more people. But let's get the caravel joining us first. Caravel, bring him in. So we need the Elder Statesman doing his job. That'll produce plenty of Liberty Bells. And then we kind of need the blacksmith doing his job next. We need to turn the ore that we have into tools and then plow this forest into a swamp or marsh, whatever it is. Once we've got that done, then we can start using the ore miner to produce ore. Unfortunately, we can't actually sustain the lumberjack here. Dang, 26 lumber from this one tile. That's incredible. We may actually make enough lumber from that one tile that we can just move the lumber around as necessary using our wagon trains. So I may not need this criminal to be a lumberjack here. I think I can just get lumber from Proxima. With the natives getting concerned, though, I might need to start building stockades everywhere. But I think a lumber mill is going to be the next thing that we need in Ironhold. We definitely want to get our hammer production up and running faster here. Hammers are the only thing that you can't just move around. What we can go ahead and do is start getting the ore mining some ore from that tile. So that's almost enough to sustain the tool production at the blacksmith house. Now we aren't generating any extra food. So we got the gunsmith hanging around. The pioneer is going to pick up the tools pretty soon, clear that forest. And then I think after the lumber mill, we need to get either a stockade for defense or to upgrade the blacksmith house to a blacksmith shop. Possibly a blacksmith shop instead. I think we'll be okay with just the defenses that we have. The Iroquois aren't too upset yet. They still have just green alarm bells, so they're not too concerned. And then this free colonist I'd like to have trained up, ideally I think into another carpenter. So we'll send him to Proxima, and then the carpenter I'm actually going to put him into the schoolhouse, and then we have just enough food extra to move the free colonist into the lumber mill temporarily. So we lose some hammer production, but in 4 turns, this free colonist can be trained up to be a master carpenter, so that he can become one of the founders of the gun city up here. We should also be not too far away from Minuit. It's a couple more turns until we get him, and then once we've got him, we'll be able to just settle right here and just take all the Indian land without paying anything for it, which is some BS. But this is a game, so yeah, I'm almost convinced that the English are trying to shake us down right now, but they're having some kind of issue with communicating with us. Possibly because every time they talk to us, there's like a price raise or a price drop, and that's having some kind of issue. Oh, that treasure's unguarded. Let's take a look. No, it's not unguarded completely. There's a dragoon right there. We're not gonna mess with that. Absolutely not. Let's back off. I think that most of the rumors are going to be taken by now. The Dutch are exploring, the English are exploring the north. There's a good chance that the Spanish might be exploring the south. There's also a pretty good chance, based on what I find over here, that the land might end, like right there. If the land ends, then I'm not going to come explore this area. The Dutch are here, they're at war with us, I don't want to mess with them. I'm just going to pull the scouts back home, and then remove their specialty and make them part of their regular colonies. Oh, that's a privateer, I think. That might be a Dutch privateer. Oh, Dutch dragoons routed by natives? Demoted to soldiers. Yeah, natives got them. Sweet. Natives won the fight and they took the horses from them. Very nice. Let's sell the furs, let's sell the coats. We got a free colonist here, 1,401 gold. We're at the point where we need to worry about I think it was a privateer over there. Got the stockade, very nice. I think what we do next is a warehouse, probably. We're kind of really in need of a warehouse because we're getting large amounts of goods now. Dragoon coming for our heads. Time to run away. Yeah, this is a privateer, right? Yeah, it's a privateer. We need to watch out with our ships. There's a chance that our ships will survive a combat, but caravels will absolutely get their butts kicked by privateers. And the only way to fight a privateer is with a privateer or with a frigate, which is 5,000 gold. We only have 1,401 gold. So we're going to need to be sneaky about how we go back and forth to Europe now. It's not even 1600 yet, but I haven't played this game this much, so I don't know that well what happens in it, or the timings of things. These friggin' natives are standing on my road, blocking me. I don't appreciate that. I really don't. I do appreciate the ones down here killing the Dutch though, or at least routing them to become soldiers. I think what we need to do with Europe is we need tools. Because we need to remove the forest here and then plow the field. So we probably need at least one load of tools, and then after that we'll probably be self-sufficient. So let's grab one more load of tools, and then we'll head on home with the free colonist. Well, let's see here, actually, hold on. Privateers right here. How fast do privateers move? 8. Nice. Alright, so there's a decent chance that the privateer will be gone by the time we get back, but there's also a decent chance that he might get us. We'll find out. Here we go. Let's keep some gold on hand. Actually, no, we'll get Peter Minuit. Let's go ahead and we'll just keep the gold on hand, and we'll wait to see what happens. Let's see where this privateer might move to. That dragoon's coming after us, which is scary. Iroquois are still being nice and giving us gifts, which I definitely appreciate. They're not. Oh, looks like they lost that battle with the Dutch soldiers. Somebody did. Where did that privateer go? He's just sitting there. He knows that we're in here. My caravel can only move 4 tiles per turn, so I cannot outrun the privateer. My caravel is stuck here. That's fine, I guess. I'll just have to wait. As long as the privateer is stuck there, that means that he's not going to attack my other caravel as it moves around. And I'm going to start pulling back many of my scouts to become part of the regular colonies. Some of them we're going to continue to explore, just not all of them. I'll leave like 2 of them. We might need to attempt to save up for a frigate, but I don't think there's any chance in hell that we can save up that much money anytime soon. Especially with the prices for our goods dropping. It's a good chance it's actually a Dutch privateer because it came from the west. The Iroquois are starting to actually get alarmed by us. We need to go ahead and give them some gifts to keep them off our backs. I would trade with them, but they just give such terrible prices. Yeah, so I just got a knowledge of nearby lands from this Cherokee village, and that tends to reveal quite a bit of the land, but it didn't reveal anything. So I think that this is the limit of the land over here in the west. This is probably all water right there. And there's no way I'm getting around the Dutch over here, so it's time to just pull the scouts back. I think I have to accept that this caravel is permanently stuck here until I deal with this privateer. I'm going to need a frigate, or potentially another privateer, which would be only 2,000 gold. We might be able to get away with that. Privateer versus privateer. If Franklin comes up as the next founding father, there's a very good chance that I'm going to take him. I need to get the Dutch off my back. Hey. Colonist in Proxima is now a proper carpenter. Very nice. Alright, so this carpenter, I'm going to send him out. He's going to become a regular colonist. He's going to go join the gunsmithing town once we get it built. With that privateer stuck there, I might need to go ahead and buy another caravel, or maybe even a merchantman. I'm having issues moving my goods fast enough now, since this douchebag is just sitting there watching me. That's something that I would do, was sit there and watch. How dare the AI do that to me? I'm gonna move these tools. You know what, actually on second thought, what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring that carpenter back into the schoolhouse. Move this carpenter out as a regular colonist. I got a free colonist from Europe, so I'm going to put him in the lumber mill and train him up to be another master carpenter. And he's going to be for the colony 1 south of the timber right there. Alright, we moved the tools over to Ironhold. We had to do a little bit of shuffling back and forth to not spoil any tools. But now I got the Pioneer properly equipped. We don't yet have Peter Minuit, so I'm not going to actually build the colony quite yet. But I think I am going to move up there with these 3 colonists and just wait until we have the founding father. Because the English are just hanging around watching us menacingly. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, so this is water right here. I think that we've explored everything that we're going to explore. I'm probably going to have to buy some muskets and equip some soldiers to protect the colony. The gunsmithing colony, that'll be right there. We got Peter Minuit. Fantastic. Give me Benjamin Franklin, please. Next. Yes. But let's take a look at the other ones, just in case. So, Peter's Savant allows us to build a customs house so that we can always trade with Europe, even during the Revolution. I'm not too worried about that. Henry Hudson doubles your fur trapper outfit. I'm not too worried about that. We have enough furs, and we've kind of, fur prices aren't doing too hot at the moment. Henry Cortez is all about conquering native settlements to give you more treasure, and the king's galleons transport it for free. Juan de Sepulveda, he increases the chance that subjugated Indians will convert. We're going to take Benjamin Franklin. We need to get the Dutch off our backs, and they have to accept peace with us once we have Benjamin Franklin, which is nice. Alright. Now I pretty much have to manually guide my ships just to be certain that the privateer is not going to, F with them. I've also got to manually guide my scouts around to bring them home. Alright, we're finally going to remove the forest that's blocking our future ore production site. Let's start moving the gunsmiths and the criminals over to the gunsmithing location. Then we've got a master carpenter that we'd like to move over there eventually as well. Until then, I think he'd be better served joining somewhere, but I'm not sure. We could make him join here and finish the stockade rapidly, since some of the food is being used to grow horses at the moment. And we have a crap ton of lumber being produced. Let's do that temporarily. You're going to be a carpenter. We still have plus 50%, so we get that +1 bonus. So we're going to finish the stockade super fast. Oh boy, Dutch treasure fleet worth 2,800 gold arrives in Amsterdam. Very nice. The Dutch are doing pretty well. English, not so much. They're trying to shake us down right now, and they can't even do that. Alright, we got that stockade in Proxima built. Fantastic. That makes me feel a little bit better. I'd like to get a newspaper built pretty soon, because there's nothing else I really want. Yeah, let's work on a newspaper. Over in Safe Harbor, we're working on a warehouse still, which is understandable. We do store most of our goods over there, especially with Mr. Asshole Privateer hanging out on the west. Iroquois is still bringing us goods, it's nice. After Franklin, we might want to go for Pocahontas if she shows up. We're going to be upsetting the Iroquois a decent amount by building next to them again. Like, we've already got the village next to Proxima at Blue Alarm, which isn't attacking us, but they are getting very close to hostility, which is not good. Yeah, all this is water, looks like. So we're done exploring. I really need to consider here if I should settle right there. But I'm not going to get any better ore supplies from anywhere else. I really need to settle this specific spot. So, this specific spot, it is. Let's call this town Gunny. Initially, what I'd like to produce is actually going to be hammers, I believe. We just need to move some lumber up there using our wagon trains. So let's bring 40 lumber, and that should be enough to supply them for quite a while. Well, I guess I'll put it on the other one instead. Got some goods to drop off, but we're not making a whole lot of money. We're at 1,732. It's still not quite enough to afford a privateer. Far away from affording a frigate. Sweet, got ourselves another proper carpenter. So let's make you a regular colonist. Let's pull out this carpenter as well. Don't need him to be there. Although, they will help build a newspaper faster, so let's keep you as a carpenter. We might want to send this carpenter over to Safe Harbor to start working on a newspaper as well. The sooner we get the newspapers built, the more Liberty Bells we produce, the more Founding Fathers we get, the more colonists that we can support in a single city. But we are kind of getting to the point where we need more food, period, just to support all of our people. But now that we have schoolhouses, we can start working on training, say, expert farmers, expert fishermen, that kind of thing. Let's work on a newspaper, let's do it. We need revolutionary support all the time. Got those forests cleared, so we're up to, what is that, 6 ore? Yeah, that's 6 ore. That's just enough to meet the demands of the blacksmith house. We need a much better ore production site, but half of my economy, half of my ships at least, are paralyzed by that privateer, and I'm quite a few turns away from getting Benjamin Franklin. Even if I make peace with the Dutch, there's a good chance that they're going to continue just sitting there waiting. Like, I'd like to get aggressive with the English, however, the more soldiers I build up, the more the Iroquois are going to be upset. Got ourselves a lumber mill and iron hole, very nice. Now that we have a lumber mill, I want to build a printing press ASAP to get more Liberty Bells. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I might want to just leave this privateer here. Once we make peace with the Dutch, it might leave, but I think it won't. I think it's just going to stand here and continue staring at us, just like this dragoon stands here and stares at us. So a caravel is 1,000 gold, privateer is 2,000 gold. I mean, we're kind of keeping it contained, basically, for less gold than it costs. So maybe we'll just leave it there. Yeah, so I think we're going to save up a little bit of money and buy a merchantman with our gold. We're about 300 away. We'll move that carpenter over to safe harbor. I am recording a little bit later on, so I may have dropped the ball on some things, and my train of thought may be out of whack a little bit, so forgive me. Ooh, Dutch taking out some Indians. And coats are all the way down to 6 gold each. Dang, man. Furs themselves are 4 gold each. We get some free colonists. I will definitely take those. We gotta bring a load of tools over to Proxima because we're about to complete that newspaper pretty quickly. We're churning out 28 hammers per turn. We're actually using up more than 2 lumber than we produce, which is pretty impressive considering we make 26 lumber per turn from that timber forest. We definitely need to get some soldiers up on Gunny here pretty quick. I can't even tell how aligned the Iroquois are at the moment because that armed brave is blocking the icon. Let's get this carpenter started working on some more hammers. I'm gonna start chewing through our lumber supplies, but that's okay. We are working on getting some newspapers built over here in Safe Harbor as well. We're at 52% support, so we could do some more stuff as well. We could do some training, actually. It'd be nice to get some more lumberjacks rolling now that we're actually churning through the lumber quite rapidly. Because we're going to grow on the next turn. We have 199 food, and we get 2 more. So that'll be over 200. But in order to train the free colonists, we have to make the lumberjacks stop working. Coats went back up to 7, very nice. And we got the newspaper built in Proxima, fantastic. So now we're making 26 Liberty Bells per turn with just that 1 Elder Statesman. What would we like next here? So we've got prairie around Proxima. We could convert the broadleaf forest into prairie, which is good for cotton. So it could start cotton production there. Unfortunately, we don't have any expert cotton planters, and none of the natives nearby train cotton planters. I tell you what I really need is I need way more food production, but I could also really use that merchantman to move goods faster. I'm going to pull out the carpenters in Proxima, since I don't think I need to build much else here at the moment. We might want to build a weaver shop eventually, but it's not that important in my opinion. We'll just work on a warehouse temporarily. That'll save us some food. If I bring the free colonist over to Proxima, let's see what our food deficit is going to be like. If I switch these guys out, we're actually not losing any food. Very nice, that means that I can train the free colonist up to be a farmer. And then I can start cycling out free colonists to get more free colonists, basically, by producing food. I also need to start working on getting the oceans properly fished as well. I think what we're going to be aiming for is kind of a population boom, increasing tool production, and then getting gun production started. This other carpenter that's free now, we're going to send them north to Gunny, I think. We'll load up some tobacco to sell, and some coats to go with it. We really don't need as much hammer production as we have here. We can't support this level of production because we don't have the tool production to keep up. So I need to pull out one of these carpenters temporarily. All that means that we no longer use as much lumber as we produce, so we can stockpile some more for later. We need to move some horses over to the other colonies so that we can spread them out a little bit better. We might want to consider equipping our soldiers to become proper dragoons as well. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, as long as you have maybe 50 horses, you get 4 per turn. Nah, it's got to be 51 exactly. Alright, we'll move all the other horses to the other colonies, as well as a good bit of the lumber that we have stored up, might as well. We'll turn the soldier outside of Ironhold into a proper dragoon. And I think I'd like to move that dragoon over to Gunny to help defend it. I can't do it quite yet because I just upgraded him. Furs all the way down to 3 gold each. We could really use some diversification, that's for sure. Oh boy, the Stamp Act. Tax rate going up by 8% up to 16%. Wonderful. So the War of the Spanish Succession ends because we reached half our population wanting to get independence. Spain, which is falling the furthest behind, is going to cede all their territory to the English, which are supposedly the ones in the lead, I guess, which is just great. So we could declare independence if we wanted to, but that would be really dumb at the moment, because we do not have an army capable of taking on the expeditionary force. We'd have to take on 49 regulars, 25 dragoons, 26 artilleries, and 14 man-of-wars. The man-of-wars we wouldn't have to sink ourselves, but we'd have to figure out some way to ambush all of these troops while they're on terrain that's good for us to attack them on, which is kind of hard. We don't have any good mountains around here except over by Gunny, but we do have some pretty good amounts of forest that we might want to leave in place. Thanks so much for watching Dealing With It. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like so that other people that might enjoy the video have a chance to see it as well. If you'd like to see more, you can always subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one in episode 6.